Quick question, have you ever been in a car accident that wasn't your fault? In this video, I'm going to share my experience of getting my Tesla Model 3, not quite this one, but very similar, repaired after being hit by an inattentive driver. From navigating insurance companies to getting a Tesla loaner courtesy car, I'll walk you through the entire process. Stick around to the end for tips on how to handle a no-fault car accident with the least stress possible. It was a sunny Sunday morning and I packed Christine for an all-day dive trip. The diving was fantastic and the dive boat had just returned to the harbour and I was picking up lunch at a nearby food truck when it happened. I heard a loud crunch and saw a huge Nissan Navara truck plough into the back of my stationary and at the time 1-year-old Model 3. Ouch. The rear of the car had been crumpled, the boot lid was dented and cracked and could no longer be closed properly. The bumper sustained some damage and then there was the most worrying thing of all. How on earth do I navigate this insurance mess? Well, first things first, I asked the other party to exchange details. The other driver couldn't or wouldn't give me his name, only giving me a nickname. Well, that wasn't helpful. Tip number 1, if you're at the scene of an accident, always swap details. If anyone is injured, call for an ambulance. An older gentleman who didn't know his name, even if I think he was being a bit cheeky, sounded like he needed some assistance, so I dialed 999. Now, crime on the Isle of Man is famously low. We've had some really funny crime stories. This might explain then why 2 police vehicles came flying up and passed us at blistering speed with blue lights flashing like there was a bank robbery in progress. They spoke to the other driver and passed me his details. So I drove my accident-damaged Model 3 back home and thought to myself, well, what are my next steps? Not a year earlier, Tesla had enabled a new feature on all of their cars, Sentry Mode. If a compatible storage device, like this one, is attached to one of the USB ports inside the car, the dashcam footage will be stored. And I really hope it had. Nervously, I plugged the SSD in and browsed the folders. Good thing Christine had filmed the entire thing from 5 different angles. I have footage of arriving and parking, the other party arriving and crashing, my trying to obtain details, and of course the police flying up. You've seen some of this footage at the start of the video. What would you do next if you were me? The options as I saw it were, number 1, probably the worst one, which is to accept the offer of £100 to get it fixed at a shipbuilder's yard by the other party's mate. Yep, that was a genuine offer. Don't accept offers. Don't make rash decisions as well. Just swap details and go your own ways if you can, right? Number 2, contact my insurance company and throw myself at their mercy. This is what most people recommended that I do. I have 9 years of no claims bonus at the time and no previous accidents, so surely my insurance company will look favourably on me and handle everything for me. Legally, I had to notify them anyway. Or number 3, contact the other party's insurance company and make a claim against them. I mean, after all, a claim has to be made against them to pay for damages in any case. Why involve my insurance company, which would then affect my premiums? Just contact the other party's insurance instead. The other option, the final option, is to contact a third party. Maybe speak to a lawyer or unassociated claims management company. The advice I found online was very mixed. Some generic advice suggested contacting the other party's insurance to have them make things right, while other advice suggested contacting my own insurance company for assistance. I figured at least my insurance company would be a friendlier voice on the other end of the phone, right? So here's the thing, I've got better things to do than babysit an insurance claim. My Tesla is pretty reliable, but it's also a complex electronic beast. Plus there's the fact that the Isle of Man doesn't have a Tesla-approved body shop. So I'd have to figure out how to get my car off the island, possibly stay in a hotel and find someone to transport the vehicle. On top of that, there's the chance that parts would take forever to arrive because of the pandemic. And who wants to drive around in a loaner car and fill up at a gas station every week? I need something I can charge at home and still get decent range. I know the other party's insurance and possibly mine would fight me on this, especially as, say, a Model 3 loan vehicle would cost quite a bit. About £200 a day. I searched for a claims management company and found 3 suitable looking companies. AX UK, Crystal Claims Management and Novo Insurance. AX UK were happy to take the claim on, but needed me to book and pay for the ferry crossings, and they'd reimburse me later. As there were a few possible ferries to book, up to 4 in total, this was a headache I'd rather avoid. Crystal Claims Management had good Trustpilot reviews, but ultimately I decided to go with Novo Insurance because of their experience with Tesla. I was keen to get a copy of the contract and agreements to check them over. They too were happy to take on the job since it was a clear no-fault accident thanks to Tesla's Sentry Mode. There is no dispute over the incident, making it clear-cut who was at fault. And within a few days I'd sent over a copy of my driver's license, a copy V5 logbook for Christine, and returned their credit repair agreement signed by Adobe EchoSign. I also agreed with them that they would come and pick up Christine and a driver would take her to a Tesla-approved body shop. Tesla, at the time of the incident, had only one body shop, and that's in Dartford on the other side of England. It was much more convenient to drive Christine to this third-party approved body shop instead. This morning, at the crack of dawn. What is it called? The crack of dawn? Good morning. I'm at the sea terminal today, and I'm going to be handing over Christine. She's going to be picked up by a chap who's going to take her off to the UK. And I'm going to be picking up a replacement. The driver arrived off the ferry in the early hours of the morning with a white Model 3 long range. We swapped keycards and I waved Christine off and drove away in a nearly identical Model 3. I must admit, I also put Christine in Tesla's valet mode in the app, which activates a speed limiter and chill mode. At this point I had a car, admittedly no phone app key, but I was perfectly able to go about my business without any problems. A few people commented thinking I'd bought a new car, and I took the opportunity to review the differences between Christine and this Model 3, as Tesla are constantly changing the configuration of their cars. You can watch that video. Here, should be a link. There was still some admin to do. I contacted my insurance company again. I spoke to them to, as it were, cancel my previous claim that I logged on the day of the accident. I also had to change the insurance details to add the loan vehicle to my insurance policy. I gave my insurer permission to deal with Novo on my behalf. The following week, I received an email response from Tesla Dartford regarding costs to parts. £3,777.67 was their estimate, plus labour. The repairs were completed the following month, and at the end of October, the Novo's driver brought Christine to the sea terminal. Now, this time it was a different driver who hadn't been to the Isle of Man before, and as soon as he drove out of the ferry building, he got lost. We are just waiting. The boat's unloading. It's exciting. Can't wait to get my car back. Some gifts for the driver. Little surprise for him when he gets in. Now, thanks to the Tesla app, I found him in a car park. He was a little worried and more than a little surprised, but I found him. I think he was relieved. There we go. And so, we're back inside Christine. After I received my car, that was nearly it. I needed to book it back into DC valeting to have the ceramic coating reapplied to the new and repainted panels. The body shop, who did the repair, had also vacuumed part of the boot to within an inch of its life, so they sent me a replacement part by courier. As I went through this process, I encountered quite a few challenges. Communication was sometimes difficult and there were delays in getting my car repaired. By remaining patient and persistent, I ultimately got my car back with the accident damage fixed. Remember, if you have an accident, to collect as much evidence as you can. Take video and photos at the time of the accident or before you send the vehicle away, and do this again when you collect it. If you have a dash cam, that's perfect, but regardless, you should collect as much evidence as you can of the incident at the time. And as phone calls and emails, they're gonna start building up, it can be very easy to lose track of where you are in the process. So, I entered everything into Notion. That put all the information in one place. It made it easy to share, and it made it, well, researching this YouTube video even easier. I learned that whilst it's important to have good insurance, your insurance is generally less about you and more about the other party. If you claim through your insurance, there's every likelihood of damaging your no claims discount and potentially flagging to your insurers that you or your vehicle are a higher risk. Yes, you need to let them know, but you may not need to file a claim with your own insurers. Even if you use a claims management company, you will need to be patient and persistent using tools like Notion can help. You don't have to remember everything once it's written down though, so it does take a bit of weight off your mind to put it down somewhere else. Now, that was my experience. Please tell me about yours. If you have a different experience or any tips that you have to share with the diving developer community, we can learn from each other and also help others who may find themselves in a similar situation. after Googling for this video. Lastly, I'm going to ask you for a favour. Did you find the video useful? If you did, please hit the like button. Or maybe if someone has an accident that's not their fault, send them a link to this video. And why not watch one of my other videos? Here's one that YouTube thinks you'd like to watch next. Here it is. Over there. Oh, over there. Yeah.